everybody. Welcome to another episode of Right Side Pride podcast here. It is the 20th of June. First day of summer, isn't it? First day of summer, even though, here in Texas, and I think probably across the country, what with global warming and all, it's felt like summer for the last 2 or 3 months.
I blame Al Gore for inventing global warming.
Well,
He
he
invented
also
the internet too.
internet too, yeah. We got the topic today we're gonna discuss that I think is probably one of the easiest ways to bring the country together and actually have a vast majority of people agree on this, except for I think the only people that we have that would not agree with this would be those members of Congress.
Yeah.
It'll make sense as we start talking about it. So, of course, I'm Hector, the host. This is Angela, co-host over here, looking fashionable as per usual. You get your hair did?
I brushed it.
Okay, well you got it
So
did.
yeah,
Good job. All by yourself?
my buddy helped.
So we'll hop right into it. We have three videos here that we want to cover, and it'll kind of lead us into the first two will lead us into our last one and really dive into the topic that we want to cover today. So the first one, without further ado, we're going to bring up a person who's been in DC for probably as long as DC's been around.
You know, he's not one of the 10 oldest members of Congress, though. Oh, he's in the Senate.
Finishing the NDA.
Moscow Mitch.
This week has been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
How old is he? You know?
Late 70s, early 80s.
Okay, Mitch. Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say?
I remember watching this thinking it was a TIA or an actual stroke.
Let's go back to.
But of course, nobody ever told the press or told the public what it was.
Well, why should we have to know what's going on with our
Elected
people
representatives.
in
Yeah.
Washington? It's very sad what happened. Like
It
you
is.
said, when I first saw it, I thought it was a stroke as well. I still don't know what it was. I do know that I think he did that a couple times. That was the
He's
first
83.
time. Okay. I know he did that a couple more times after that.
Yeah.
And then that was as he was contemplating another run for Senate, which he thankfully said he's not going to. So this is, once this next election
Yeah.
cycle comes up, I think he's done. But
I hope so, and I hope he gets healthy because it's just sad. I feel bad for him and his family and the people he represents. I mean, and including all of the United States because he is a sitting senator. But
well, at the time he was the leader in the Senate, or minority leader in the Senate.
Yeah.
So it's like you're literally in control of what's going to be going on as far as what bills are going to be, what voting is going to take place.
Yeah,
and
it's just sad that
that's what
he kept
happens.
being
Like,
paraded
it
out
makes no
there.
sense.
He was being paraded out there. I mean, I know I pray that his family and supporters wanted the best for him, but that was not the best for him.
No, and we saw the
Same with Joe Tato.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We saw the same with Joe Biden coming through at the end there.
Yeah.
Well, many of us saw it at the beginning, but it was very noticeable to everyone towards the end that he wasn't with it. This next one is somebody that we all know and love, and we'll let her. It's about a 30-second video here, and
the
She
Witch of the
is
West.
another one who's been in Congress for quite a while, and
It's
well, without
87, I
further
think.
ado, let her talk for a little bit.
Whether it's, well, it's the first bill that protect our assault, our bill, COVID. Shots in the arm, money in the pockets, children in school, people at work. The infrastructure bill, building in a way that is respectful of communities, chips and science.
You know, and we've all seen the videos of her. I don't know whether her teeth are loose or she's drunk or both or what, but she's just as bad as Joe Tato,
There are a lot of
Maxine
videos,
Waters.
more videos of her out there, her being Nancy Pelosi,
Yeah.
where she's just at it. And another one that I haven't seen videos of any like snafus or anything, but Chuck Grassley of Iowa. You know, he's
Yeah.
I think 93, something like
He's
that.
hang on. I have the 10 oldest members of Congress list right here.
He's 92, 93, something
And
like that.
he's number one. He's not one, but he is the oldest one.
Damn near 100.
Where'd it go? Oh God, Maxine Waters. I hate when I see that face.
She looks like a prune.
Here we go. Yeah, Chuck Grassley, born September 17th, 1933. Current age this is as of November of 23. 90
so
years
he's
old then. So he's
92 going on 93. 93?
he's
Yeah.
91 going on 92.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's, in my opinion, that is too old for the rigors of being in Congress.
He's been in Congress since 1975.
I was -4.
So I went through this. I went through this list, and this is as of November of 23. So add a year. Grace Napolitano. She was 86, so she's 87 now. Democrat out of California, and 8 of the top 10 are Democrats. I mean, age is age; it doesn't really matter party. But I thought that was interesting. Bill Pascrell, born in 37, he's 87 years old now, Democrat from New Jersey. Hal Rogers, 86 years old now, Republican out of Kentucky.
What is it with Kentucky keeping these old people in office?
Maybe there's a shortage of
Shortage of
people.
youngins?
The list just disappeared, but it's pathetic.
We get the idea.
I mean, the guy's 90 some odd years old.
The crazy part about this is we could elect you right now, and you would be one of the younger in Congress.
I would.
And probably one of the smarter ones, if we're being honest.
No,
That's
I'm a nitwit.
That's my one compliment for the podcast here. But in all honesty, you know, it's very. In the video that's coming up in a bit, they'll talk a little bit about being an incumbent and how it's easier for them to really just run on their name essentially, and it's harder for someone to unseat an incumbent, and
it is, and honestly, I could care less whether you're Democrat, Republican, as long as you're pro-American, and you're capable of doing your job. You're effective for the position that you've been elected. Your constituents put you there to represent them, and if you are unable to, for whatever reason, step aside. These lifetime politicians it drives me nuts that they get away with this.
Mhm.
All of the parties do this, including the independents, Bernie. They stay in office and just get wealthier. Wealthier.
Not
Because of your
Bernie,
position.
not Bernie. He's anti-wealth.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
right. He's only
he
got 3
he
homes.
he pedals a bicycle all across the country for his anti-oligarch tour. Like, so this next video, it's it's more of a. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry.
Mitch again. It's just bizarre to me that this can go on. Let's say one.
No.
No.
Well, right now at 5:30, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell back to work today
Again,
after appearing
keep
to
in mind
freeze
these videos are
mid-sentence
a little
during
older
a press conference on
when
Wednesday.
this stuff
Senator
did happen.
McConnell, 81 years old, but he's not the only older lawmaker in national or even local politics.
After that apparent health scare, questions are being raised now about how old is too old to remain in office.
What is your thought? And it's hard to put a number on it, to be honest.
Honestly, I don't care. As long, like I said before, as long as you're effective and able to do the job, represent the people that put you in office, that elected you in office, and you're pro-America, I don't care. But having said that, I want term limits. I want 2 terms for president, 2 terms for Senate, 2 terms for Congress. All separate years, though, so that they're not all happening at the same time. But we know that will never happen. We know that for Congress and Senate, that will never happen. Why? Because it's up to them to vote on it.
So I would say, again, 2 terms for president. Sorry, I hit that button there. I would say, again, 2 terms for president because it's already there. 2 terms, I agree. In the Senate, that's 12 years. You don't need to be up there any longer than that. I would say the representative maybe 5 terms. Give them 10 years up there because they're 2-year terms. So 5, maybe 6, so it's equal to the Senate. But once you've run for one, you cannot run for the other. The only instance is if you're going from a representative or a senator to president. At that point, that's it. Like, you can't spend 12 years in the House and then 12 years in the Senate and then another 8 years as president. It's too long.
Yeah, I agree.
In my opinion.
Too much taxpayer money going into their pockets.
And so there's another
Exactly.
another person that will be coming up here that they're going to be talking about who actually passed away soon.
To ask voters what they think.
Not too long ago.
And a string of
It happened Wednesday with Republican Senator Mitch McConnell.
Submitted.
Oh,
Even more recently, Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein confused
This
at
is the funny
hearing
part. Listen to
Thursday,
this.
a colleague telling her
I
to say
remember.
"I."
Yeah, just say aye. Okay, just
say aye.
yeah.
aye.
McConnell, 81,
Has no clue.
Feinstein, 9.
Has
Well,
absolutely
Barbara Boxer,
no clue.
Feinstein, Pelosi. What's the difference?
No clue what she's saying aye to.
No.
How is that person representing her constituents when somebody else told
It's an
her,
auto-
hey, you need to say,
It's an auto pen moment.
90
Here we
fall
go.
on opposite sides of the aisle, but both are at the center of a debate about age and politics.
It's definitely something that I'm pretty passionate about, whether that be like term limits or just broader age limits.
Rachel Fields is a rising junior at Boston College and says for her, this is less about pushing older voices out and more about bringing new ideas in.
Is this something on either side of the aisle people seem to connect on?
This is actually probably the one topic that I've connected on with my friends from all sides of the political aisle.
And the data backs that up. A recent study showed 72% supported a maximum age limit, a retirement age. Another study found 80%.
I wonder what we could do to get term limits started. I mean, could we contact our local reps?
Yeah.
See if they're up for it. I know they won't be because
you contact them and let it fall on deaf ears because the minute they hear term limits, they hear, "Oh, I'm not going to have a job."
right. Oh, I won't be able to milk this and do nothing, get away with everything.
The cash cow has run dry.
Right.
But that's it. I know there was a petition going around for a while, and I think it had like several million signatures on it. It was like some termlimits.org or something like that, that somebody had started. But of course, it fell on deaf ears.
Right.
I think Ted Cancun Cruz had presented or presented a bill for term limits, and of course it got shut down pretty quick. I don't know how much he actually really pushed it, as opposed
probably not. He knew it was going to go nowhere.
Exactly, sponsoring it so he can say, "Well, I tried." You know.
Yeah, it's sad because I mean, what other organization are you aware of that sets their own rules, gets paid by others, sets their own rules, gives themselves raises when they feel it's necessary, has free health care that we're not entitled to? You know, you want to fix healthcare, you want to fix Medicare, Medicaid, all that stuff, Social Security, put them on that system.
Well, it's like when Obamacare was coming about, and they're like, "Oh, it's a great plan. It's a great plan. Well, why don't y'all get on it?" Well, we have this.
Yeah.
We go to Walter Reed. We're good. You know.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think, and I also think, once they're out, like, you're done. Whatever you've saved, whatever.
Right. Go back to work.
That's what you're going. That's what you're going with.
None of this becoming a someone who's going to go to work for the defense industry companies,
a lobbyist,
and become a lobbyist for them. No, none of that. Pharmaceuticals, automobile, none of that. No. You go to work. Go back to your job. You were an attorney. Go back and screw people that way.
Let's finish this.
Voters supported term limits.
The biggest complaint that I hear about President Biden, even on the side that I am on, is his age.
Nina Goldbranson is a Boston University student and a Democrat, and says our current election system favors incumbents and can make it hard for new candidates to break in.
And we see with younger representatives, they're more inspiring, they're more active, at least on my end, I feel that.
A uniting concern over age versus wisdom, and if some are overstaying their welcome. In Boston, Brandon Truitt, WBC.
I think a vast majority of them have more than overstayed their welcome. Again, you keep beating a dead horse about this, but they're never going to vote themselves out of a job.
No.
The only way we can get rid of them is to vote them out of a job. They're not going to do it.
The only way. They're not
going
to do it. Yeah.
And the sad part is sometimes it comes down to the lesser of two evils. For example, the election coming up soon here in Texas, we have John Cornyn going up against Ken Paxton. I mean,
it's toughy.
Yeah, you keep John Cornyn, who's probably been about worthless up there, or put in.
Wasn't he in the car with Kennedy?
I think he was a driver or something, but he,
he's been around forever.
Or do you put somebody up there who has
shady
been impeached or in Texas? I mean, you keep putting these crooks in positions where they can continue to be crooks legally, and it regardless of what you're on or you're with, we keep putting them into power, and they keep running. And what do you do?
Well, and there's no money in it for honest people. And when I say no money, you need money to get elected. There's no money in it. There's no money there for it. We keep hearing just a local election where we ended up with that person as mayor here. What did we hear? so-and-so kept, put $1 million toward the election. So-and-so put 500,000, Bobby, he put out a couple $100. That's all he could do because he's still got a family to take care of. Someone who is boots on the ground like Bobby, he may not know everything about running the government, being the mayor, but you know what? He's there every day in the trenches with everybody. And he's the common man here.
Yep.
Instead, we've got this politician, this left-wing politician wingnut from DC who changes her name at will, depending on which audience she's talking to, AOC, Kamala. And then we've got this other guy who he's a politician. Okay, well, those are options.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, and if you are middle of the road, you have to pick a side. You have to pick a side. If you are middle of the road, me, for example, I am a part of the say it, but
Leviticus.
But obviously, being gay, but I won't get the support of the alphabet soup community, probably because I call them the alphabet soup community. That may be a start, but
that STFU and fall in line.
Yeah, but I also wouldn't get support from the right because I'm not so much. I mean, I'm not pro-life, but I'm not like anti-life or pro-choice. I think there are.
Not anti-life.
I mean, to some people, I am. I could think of a few people I'd be anti-life for.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's just a say-all end-all. I think if there's health reasons or rape or incest, things like that, I think there should be, but it shouldn't be used for birth control. I don't think that's,
Absolutely.
And that makes sense. That's a logical approach to it, but neither side will agree with that because neither side is logical. They're both stuck in their ideologies so far.
You've got to be an extreme here or an extreme here.
Yes.
Can't be in the middle because then you've got people over here yelling at you and you got people over here yelling at you. Whereas if you're over here, you've only got one group yelling at you. If you're over here, you've only got one group yelling at you.
And if you don't have the backing of one side or the other, you're not going to have, like you said, the money to fund you to get you going. And you have the left who has their head stuck up Kamala or Gavin Newsom or Mayor Pete. And then you have the right who, they have their head stuck up Trump. So it's like one or the other, you got to have your head up somebody, Yeah. And it's just not, it's unfair, that, like you said, the common man can't essentially.
We don't have a voice, which brings me back to my favorite movie, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. People, if you've not watched it, watch it. It's an education in U.S. politics. And yes, it's from the 1930s, but it's been going on since day one of the United States political scene.
Do you know if it's on Netflix or any? Do you know what streaming?
I've got a DVD
platform?
or a VHS, I think.
Is it right now? It's on VHS right next to your Cowboys Super Bowl championship, the last one they had.
Angel will hear you. You know what? I'm going to look that up right now.
Okay,
Mr. Smith
I think that would be helpful.
Goes. If I'm giving homework to everybody, goes to, and I honestly would like you to watch it. I know you've not.
I haven't, and I know you mentioned it before. I don't have a VCR anymore, so there's that.
Oh my God! I typed in Mr. Smith Hose to Washington.
That's the porn version.
Oh, okay. That's the other one. It's on Tubi, Apple, Google Play, Fandango at Home, Amazon Prime. You know what? I'm going to get that.
That Mr.
Yeah,
Smith hose to Washington. That's
Mr.
right
Smith
next to your
hosed to Washington.
That's right next to your DVD of Debbie Does Dallas. So.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. No, but seriously, it's an education on politics in this country, and yeah, it's black and white. It's Jimmy Stewart,
Well,
but
that's what I was about to ask. Not that I care about color, because all colors matter.
we don't see
but
color.
It is in black and white.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it a silent?
Is it what?
Is it a silent movie? Is Charlie Chaplin in it?
No, 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 no.
That came
But
out
it
2 or
takes
3
it
years.
takes.
Sorry, I was going
Don't
to say,
do
did it
it.
come out about 2 or 3 years before you were born or after you were born?
After Tracy was born. It takes a common man, and he gets dropped into the political scene in DC, and just gets run over, and that's what still happens today. That's why there's no common man in DC. There just isn't in American state and federal politics. I mean, I don't know all of them. There's nobody I can think of. I used to think Dan Crenshaw was that, but he's not. He's a politician now.
I can say, and it pains me to say this, but the way she did it was the way you have to do it. But then when she got there, her ideology was really what they wanted, so they backed her.
Who's
And
that?
that's AOC.
Oh,
Like she knocked on doors, very grassroots, didn't have a ton of backing, and was a bartender. You know, obviously, I mean, she is educated from, was it Columbia, I think, but
probably something like that.
but she knocked on doors. She started it out that way, and just got her name out. Then again, once she got in, that's when she really.
Well, and she also had the backing of the socialists, the Democrats, who threw money at her. So
Well, I think that was after the first round. Like once she got in and got, like they wrapped
Yeah.
their arms around her, then it was, I have the money, and now she's going to be one of those that 40 years down
she's
the
a
road,
lifelong. Yeah.
we're going to see, oh, she's still in Congress.
God, I hope not.
Well, the only other option is she runs for president, and yeah, well,
Well, it'll be a ticket with,
Sure.
let's see, Kamala, Crockett, and AOC on the ticket. All three of them.
all three of them. Yeah, change
Yeah.
the rules.
Yeah.
President,
not?
vice president, and vice president. In case the first two don't work out. Um,
They'll each pick a couple of days, do it, 2 days a week.
but yeah, I think that if there was a way, or if we could find a way to really get term limits, it's something that has to happen, because I don't think the country can sustain the people that are up there that have been there since the 70s, 80s. The 70s and 80s were such a different time compared to even the 90s, 2000s, 2020s. It's such a different time, and they're so out of touch with everything that's happening now. Even the talk of the whole like gay marriage and everything else. It's going to go away. But most younger people don't care.
No.
Don't care.
And
It's the
honestly,
old.
I don't think our generation cares.
I don't think so either. It's all the old buzzards up there, and it's not all of them, but it's all the old buzzards up there that want to bring this up. And I will say it's most of the old buzzards on the right side that are, specifically in Texas, where they're, having their crap about it. But it's the Abbott butt lickers when he's out of his wheelchair that that are after this. And look, I'm not in Congress. I can call him Hot Wheels.
Well, you can be in Congress and call them Hot Wheels, I guess.
Well, to be fair, it is very hot outside,
Yeah.
and when he's wheeling down, I'm sure his wheels are hot.
Yeah.
So, but I don't like the guy. I think he's way too far right,
I like him.
and I think he's just way too far right. And again, that whole polarization. You have him, or you
Yeah.
have the idiot he ran against. Was it Beto the last time? I think so. You
Oh,
you pick your poison. Like they're the same person, just on the opposite end. You know.
Beto O'Rourke.
On that note, and the reason I mentioned him,
Yeah.
next Friday he is going to be in San Antonio, doing a town hall,
I wonder what he's
and
going to try to lose an election for this time.
dog catcher. I don't
I
know.
wouldn't vote for him.
But I'm gonna try to get down there. It's at 6:30 downtown. I'm gonna try to get down there, and maybe we
Maybe we
can
can
go
do
live,
barge
or
in and demand to ask a question, and then when you get taken down, you can make a crying video.
say I'm Alex Padilla. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I'm gonna try to get down there. Try to convince a couple people to go with me just for safety and numbers. I thought about wearing a Trump hat, but I think I'm gonna go against that and just kind of engage people in conversation and then break it to them like, this is who I am, what I am, blah blah blah. You know, so but we'll see. I haven't thought that far ahead yet, but RSVP for the event. And then we also have the next. It's going to be a fun packed weekend next weekend. So Friday we have the Beto O'Rourke thing, which is just going to warm me up for the next day because that's San Antonio Pride events going on. We are going to be doing some live streaming from Pride. Going to
What
try
time
to
does that
talk
kick
to
off?
10 a.m. to like 8 p.m. and then they have the parade and stuff from like 8 or 7 to
We can do some
10.
stuff. I've got softball that morning, but we can do stuff.
I'm not going to be down there till the afternoon, till about
Oh,
1.
okay, that works out.
So yeah, so I want to talk to some people down there. I definitely want to see how the interactions are. You know, I want to see from an adult standpoint, if there are children around, how are these adults acting? Are they dressed? You know, that's my biggest thing.
Yeah.
Talk to
Is
some
there
of the
sex
vendors.
going on? Is there over sexualization of anything and everything?
Talk to some of the vendors that are down there. Ask them why they're there. You know, if anybody has any topics or questions or anything that they'd like for me to bring up to
Yeah,
any of the
please
vendors
ask.
down there, put it in the comments. Message us, email us. All this will be at the end of the show. But fun packed weekend next weekend. I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be very very entertaining.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. I will be supportive. Honestly, if I had something to sell at the Pride thing, I'd set up a booth. We could get a Right Side Pride banner in a booth and set up and let people come talk to us
Next year.
next year.
It's too late this year, and
Yeah.
also all those things go through the Secretary of Pride, and we may need somebody else to sign us up for that
Yeah.
because
Probably.
STFU would fall in line,
Yeah.
and you know
We could get hats that say STFU on them.
mine says STFU and yours says fell in line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know you're just there to be a hindrance and not a help. So
Yeah. Yeah.
but good talk.
Oh.
I think if we could definitely get the ball rolling on this, if somebody could get the ball rolling on this term limits,
Yeah.
I think having the average age above what one of them I thought was like 67 or something like that. I think in the
Yeah.
Senate.
That's
I think that's a bit high. You know, if your average age is pushing post retirement, it's a bit high.
Yeah.
I think in the House it was like 54 or something like that, which I'm okay with that. You know, that's not too bad. And again, that's the average age, but it's yeah, you know,
something's
it's
got
out
to
of hands.
happen. I got nothing else.
I'm plumb brain dead too. I could run for
It's
Congress.
Friday. Yeah, you could. You could be a Democrat.
I'm not old enough yet. But once I get old enough, then I'll be able to run. But yeah, keep us in mind for next weekend. I'm sure you'll hear from us prior to that. I know there's a lot of stuff that's been going on specifically with Iran that we'll probably hop on and talk about. I do want to have a session on the Tucker Carlson versus Cancun cruise conversation.
You want to do that Sunday?
We'll probably do that Sunday evening. But we'll keep everybody updated.
Are you triviaing this Saturday?
We can talk about that offline.
Okay.
I just don't want
that's
it.
right. That's right.
So yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
We'll be in touch. Follow our socials. We're very active on X now. It's been entertaining. I slightly troll people, but it's what I do. If you're good at something,
we have some possibly exciting news coming up. We're working on sponsors, and hopefully that'll work out. It looks good. We'll discuss that with Roz and see what happens.
Sounds good. Well, everybody have a great weekend. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe button, share button. Don't just watch our videos. Make sure that you're subscribing so you get notified whenever a new one uploads. Share them and tell them to subscribe as well so they can get notified.
Force your family and friends to watch it and like it and subscribe. Force them.
You don't have to like it. Just subscribe.
No, just subscribe.
Most people probably won't like what we're saying anyway. But
someone had a comment last week I sent to you. You should let me talk more.
I had a comment from somebody that said I should let you talk less. If I had a mute button here, I don't. Wait, hold on. Oh, look, I do have a mute button. Okay, we unmuted her.
It's okay. I know sign. I know sign language.
I didn't know I could mute you. That was nice.
Yeah, I can mute you too. I won't.
Well,
if you want me to talk more, say so in the comments. If you want me to talk less, say so in the comments.
We'll put a poll up one day.
Oh, we
see
should.
Who they want to talk more.
We should.
But again, thank you all. We've been getting quite a few more subscribers, and we definitely appreciate all the new people that have come on.
Get in before it becomes cool.
And you can see you were one of the first ones here.
Yeah.
We appreciate everything, and just stick around. It's going to be a fun next couple of weeks, and there hopefully can be some fireworks soon. That's something we've been looking for. So we'll see what happens.
July 4th is coming up.
July 5th is coming up too. We'll talk about that one on a future episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah. July 3rd too. That's my mother-in-law's birthday.
That's somebody else's birthday too.
Yeah.
Jeanette.
I know.
But July 5th is we'll talk about. I don't know if you know about it. But, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, it was nice chatting, and I'm going to grab some food and enjoy Friday evening. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Watch Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Be good humans.
See y'all soon. Your hosts today have been and still are Hector Barrera and Angela Tapia. Right Side Pride was produced today by the ever-munificent producer, Roz. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next time on Right Side Pride.